What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Scary Hour, and we're gonna get right into it. We're gonna talk about Space Jam 2, or Space Jam: The New Legacy, whatever the fuck the name is. I watched it this past weekend, and I watched it with my little sister. She fell asleep within the first 20 minutes of the movie. I don't know why. I told her to give it a try, give it a chance. I guess she was just tired during the day, but I'm not gonna hold you guys. I'm a big LeBron fan, but this ain't it, King. Literally, this was not it. And like, I've seen Space Jam, the first one, the original, and Michael Jordan's acting was actually fucking good. Like, it was actually like, oh shit, this dude is an actor. And I don't want to knock LeBron just because I understand you're not dealing with real life actors. You're not dealing with people, like you're dealing with an object that's moving around, or not even just an object. You have to like make believe that there's something there, and then you just have to like talk to that nothingness. And I get that, you feel me? But I've seen I forgot this other movie that he did where his acting was actually better. A couple years back, but this one, it was just like the screaming, you could tell was forced, in ways that he looked around and shit like that, or like how he would look in like disbelief. It kind of made it look like as if it was a fake disbelief, like disbelief. I mean, and it was just weird. Obviously, this is not his profession. He's not Leonardo DiCaprio, so. But I honestly was hoping for the movie to be better than the first Space Jam, given that we're in a new era. We are in an era with technology is thriving at its fullest, and we can recreate Bugs Bunny a way better looking than the Bugs Bunny in the first Space Jam. But I guess his acting was a little mediocre, okay level, like a little worse than okay, kind of. So it's not nowhere near good, but it's doable in the okay sense, if that makes any sense. But yeah, man, it didn't do it. And for those people who were talking all that shit, talking about there's a lot of people that are saying this is not for your typical 30-year-old. This movie is not for your typical 30-year-old. So stop hating and let your kids watch it because this is meant for them. I want to put a hole in that bag of bullshit, because while yes, Bugs Bunny and the whole narrative in the movie, the whole plot in the movie, everything that the movie is about visually has to do and is for the kids. It caters to this generation. So in that sense, yes, you're right. You're correct in the sense that this is a movie meant for kids. But that it is entirely meant for kids is complete bullshit, because number one, the first main point that I can even think of off the bat is references. The references on this movie, my little sister would never understand. My little sister is 7 years old. My little brother is 3 years old. He wouldn't understand whatsoever. He probably wouldn't even know what the fuck is going on in the movie. He's just is just entertaining or whatnot. But my 7-year-old sister, who has kind of a more of her own thought and her own opinion on things, she won't understand Goldmember's movie. It's just that alone was a reference for generations in my field, like my generation and older. So the whole narrative that, this movie isn't made for your typical 30-year-old is complete bullshit, because the people, my mom have seen the Goldmember. I've seen it. My little sister hasn't. She would not understand what the fuck that whole reference was. And I did enjoy the reference. Don't get me wrong. It was just the acting in the movie was really bad just because you don't normally see LeBron acting. So it was something to look forward to. Therefore, when it's as an adult, when it's right in your face, what you're focused on is LeBron's acting. Me as a LeBron fanatic, as somebody who you can count with your hands the amount of videos you've seen LeBron in where he's acting. So yeah, this whole narrative, there's a lot of, I'm a big LeBron fan. I know a lot of people who are big LeBron fans, and they just don't want to come to the realization that, my man's is not really, he didn't do it on this one. You feel me? Now for the third Space Jam, if, I don't know, Stephen Curry does it, then, now he learned from what the fuck LeBron did, and he's probably will be, probably do better. But, yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. Y'all gonna have to give it up. LeBron didn't do that good. It's just that's what it is. Those are the two main things that really bothered me in the movie. And I'm gonna get to the third thing, which is the third and final thing. But to harper on to the first two that I mentioned, yes, it is. His acting was really annoying. And I try to give him more chance because the movie's so fucking long. And that is my third point right there. But yes, the acting and the references, I did enjoy many and some references, but my little sister would not understand it. So the whole narrative that this is for a younger generation is completely bullshit, because I know those who watched the first Space Jam, that shit was universal. That shit was universal because MJ's acting was literally, it was good. Like, it was literally good. For somebody talking to nothing, that shit was banging. And that's why we enjoyed Space Jam. And it's just like the movie, to get to my third point and move on from the first two, the movie is just too damn fucking long. The movie was damn near 2 hours. It was 1 hour and 55 minutes to be exact. That is some bullshit. My little sister's not going to stand here. I mean, I honestly don't think she'll stand here for damn near 2 hours watching this movie. And it's just like, and then it's also like just LeBron everywhere. Like, you would not catch one scene where LeBron is not in the room. Like, there would not be like one thing where, like, I don't know, for example, Bugs Bunny goes off to one spot and looks for his friends or some shit like that, and then meets up with LeBron later or some bullshit like that. You never get taken into this different journey throughout this movie. It's just the entire movie, the same journey. We're here together. We will not separate. And it was annoying as fuck because it was like, all right, bro, you feel me? Like, it's already a bad acting, and I kind of don't want to continue seeing LeBron acting more. Like, come on. And then, yeah, it was just, and then we get to actually playing basketball, and that entire scenery, or like that entire part lasts a whole half of the movie, which is like an hour. And then LeBron only fucking scores like 4 fucking buckets. Type of shit is that? Literally, like, all he scores is like, he's like 4 for 5 from the field because he missed one or some shit like that, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, I am completely in awe of how shit this movie was. For LeBron fans, fanatics, fiends, don't kill me on this one, because I'm with you on the fact that, he's a great fucking player. He's the GOAT to me. Like, to me, he's really the GOAT. So don't mention shit to me because I'm being real. You feel me? I hate motherfuckers like you guys that is just all about dick sucking LeBron and just like sucking on his balls and shit. Bro, relax. Like, my man's is just, he didn't do that good, and it's that simple. Plain and simple. It was not good. It was not a good movie. I would put it again just to put it for my little brother and sister who didn't finish watching it. But I'd be going through it. I ain't gonna lie. I'd be going through and watching it all over again. I would not mind not watching that all over again. I would rather watch Space Jam, the first one, 5 times before I watch this one. I'm not going to hold you. But, hey, man. You feel me? I guess you live and you learn. And while we're on the subject, that man just became a billionaire. You know, with his Nike brand, his shoe brand, sorry. You know, the man that built a school, all of his advertisements, and then, you know, all of the money that he gets playing the sport of basketball. That man is now, his career earnings are $1 billion. So for you fanatics sucking his ass, listen, bro, y'all need to loosen up a little bit, because he ain't Venmoing y'all, he ain't Cash Apping y'all, he is not sending you money through Zelle, he ain't doing none of that. So relax, all right? He ain't paying your rent. You feel me? Like, I understand sticking by him and trying to defend his 2011 championship run and shit like that. I get it. You feel me? I do the same shit too. But when we come to this whole Space Jam shit, you feel me? Just let your kids watch it. That's it. This literally, I'm a side with the whole, this is not meant for the 30-year-olds, because this shit was trash. I'm not 30, but I'm 23 years old, and I find that shit trash. And this is just another score for the MJ fans. This is just another score for niggas that, you know, wanna up MJ in every fucking moment, and well deserved. But, you know, I'm just saying, there's just another beat down on why LeBron isn't the GOAT. The man became a billionaire. So, you know, I'm a huge LeBron fan, but I ain't getting a check from that man every month. He's not paying my phone bill. He's not paying my house bill. He doesn't dictate what I eat. He doesn't dictate what time I go to sleep. So, by all means, bro, you feel me? I don't know, bro. Should have gone back in time. Should have fixed your acting. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I'm just bashing the man right now because I'm so fucking mad at the fact that this flopped. This should have never flopped, guys. This should have never flopped. I was really looking forward into this movie, man. Some bullshit. There's some complete bullshit. And for the second time this month, we finally see, well, not finally, because I wasn't looking forward to it, but Jeff Bezos has just hit outer space. And the man, you know, is Bezos. I was already expecting it. I was even surprised that Richard Branson was the first one. I kind of expected either Elon or Bezos to go up there, because I kept hearing about it. Now I know it would have, if it wasn't for Elon's project failing, like literally the day of launch, like the shit that ass like came right back down, blew the fuck up. But if it wasn't for that, he would have been the first one. But you know, it was neither of them. It was Richard Branson, and now it's Jeff Bezos, and he successfully made it up there. Successfully came back down as well. And it's, you know, I mean, I don't have much to say. It's just kind of the same thing as that I kind of have the same take that I had for Richard Branson, where it's just, you know, it's motivating to watch these people make it up there. And obviously, you know, they're billionaires. Obviously, they got a lot of money in them, you know. But aside from all of that, it's still motivation. It's still something I aspire to do in life, or as big as something that I aspire to do in life. So big shout out to Jeff Bezos, and big shout out to Richard Branson. Fucking billionaires, man. And this is just he then afterwards, he went up there with, before I get to that point, he went up there with, like, it was him, his brother, some I think the pilot, which was a female, I forgot her name, and some 18-year-old kid who was like fucking smart ass. He's like smart as shit. And I think somebody else was supposed to go. I think his father was supposed to go, and he couldn't make it, or some shit like that. From what I heard, he couldn't make it, so his son went on and took his seat and went up there, and he became the youngest to ever make it into space, because I heard that the youngest person to make it up there, Jesus Christ, I'm having a fucking brain aneurysm, but the youngest guy to make it to space before this 8-year-old was a 25-year-old. So a pretty big age gap. It's probably be pretty hard to beat. I'm well above that, so definitely it ain't gonna be me. But yeah, he, after they came back down, obviously, you know, you're gonna get interviewed. He got interviewed, and he had this like part where he was just talking about, oh, I just want to thank my Amazon workers and Amazon people who use Amazon, because you paid for this. And like, I personally just felt so cringe listening to him say, literally, you paid for this, just because I know how hard it is to work at an Amazon warehouse. And then also, as being somebody who orders from Amazon, all the money that it takes from you. You literally order everything from Amazon, and you can order everything from Amazon. So, but because I stand a little more towards, I relate a little more towards the working aspect of it. It's a, you know, we be busting our ass. So, I mean, I guess, thank you. But then it's like, those $100 million or $200 million that you split between Van Jones and Jose, I forgot his last name. He's a cook. But those $200 million that you split between those two gentlemen, which they can do whatever they want with the money, by the way, could have gone to your Amazon employees. And I understand he's not the CEO anymore. I heard, you know, he officially moved it on to some other nigga, and he, you know, I get it, but I feel like that's why he did it. I'm not gonna hold y'all. Aside from, you know, obviously going to the moon and doing whatever he wants to do now from here on out with all the money that he has, aside from that, it was just also to be, it had a big part on, I feel like, giving 200 million to two individuals, because he would have gotten a lot of flack for it if he would have done that still being the CEO of Amazon. Obviously, people are going to bash him. Obviously, it's going to be controversial as shit, but he did it the smart way. Instead of actually doing it during his reign in Amazon, he waited for the perfect moment. And you can't say shit. And nobody has said shit, because the media has literally painted it as like, yo, wow, it pays to be Jeff Bezos' friend. I don't know, man. It's, you feel me? It's unfortunate. I can't speak much because, yeah, don't want to even fucking dig a deeper hole than I've already digged for myself. But it's a little cringy, man. It's a little cringy. It's a little cringy. It's a little cringy, especially just hearing, you know, him, that part of his speech, just saying, oh, I thank Amazon workers and people who use Amazon because you paid for this. It's like, bro, just keep that shit to yourself, nigga. You don't have to fucking shove it into our faces. Like, bro, like you're already doing enough by going into space and being in every fucking media outlet, just showing your face and saying and showing your landing and shit. Like, we get it. We know your name. You're a household name. We get it. We hear it. We see it. You don't have to now shove it. And we know, we honestly know, if you put us to deep think this shit, we obviously know that we paid for this. We obviously know we're the reason you're going into space, not us. So, yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. Fuck all of that, though, y'all. Fuck all of that. I'm gonna give you a little tip. Just because I feel like not a lot of people. I mean, I'm not the first one to think about this, but obviously not a lot of people. I haven't heard anything from it, honestly. But wait. Let me just. My shit was cotton dry right there. When obviously I seen Jeff Bezos go up and shit like that, I started to look at shares to buy, with the companies that they went up there with, because one of the reasons, maybe one of the reasons that they, this has been a thing this month. A billionaires going up there is because eventually those companies that they use to go up there would eventually lead to space tourism. And, what better way to get in early? You feel me? I'm not gonna sit here. I could have easily gatekept. Jesus Christ. I could have easily gatekept this. Sounds weird. Gatekept. I could have easily gatekept this. Okay. You get what I'm saying? From obviously, I'm not, like I said, I'm not the first one to think about this shit. Obviously, there's probably people out there that have thought about this idea, but I could have kept it quiet. You feel me? I could have been like real quiet about this whole shit. But I feel like it is something that's going to be booming in years to come. Maybe even decades to come. I don't know. But I feel like you will not regret getting in early. At least buying like 3 shares. They're $30 right now for Virgin, because that is the only one that's currently out right now. Obviously, I'm not a expert at this shit, so you could do as you please with this information. But I feel like, this is a thing where, I don't know. I feel it in me where it's just like the way Bitcoin, how much Bitcoin was priced at back in 2015, which was like $300. I feel like you could look at this in the same light, even though it's not a crypto, it is a stock. But look at it in the same light as just like, what does it cost you to buy a share of Virgin Galactic, which is $30 currently right now? I don't know. You have to make sure you have a specific what to see if any of these apps that you buy stocks from have it, because I believe not all of them have it. But yeah, Virgin Galactic is the only one out currently. And that one is priced at $30 at the moment. But if you buy like 3 and leave it there for long term, don't even worry about it. Just understand that you have 3. Next thing you know, 10 years from now, space tourism becomes a thing and it becomes affordable, or, hypothetically speaking. And a lot of people have, get to save money when they go on vacation. And instead of going on vacation, they go on this trip, so just an idea, just a thought. Maybe invest in it, maybe don't. Maybe if you think I'm stupid for even thinking about this shit, or a little bit too out of my mind, and then so be it. I haven't even bought a share yet, but I will eventually, and I'll be definitely in tune with and when Blue Origin, which is Jeff Bezos' company, who he went up with, and SpaceX finally put out their stocks, so I could buy those too, buy a couple of those as well. So just a little thought, you feel me? Little a little brain thought, brain smash, or whatnot, whatever you want to call it. And definitely keep it in mind. I don't feel like it's going to be a bad idea. Now, guys, I know my prediction for the NBA Finals were a little off. It only survived about a game. But then, like, 2 games in, that shit was squashed. That shit was done with. I don't even remember. So if anybody want to go back and check it out, then I could do that. It was like 2 episodes ago. But my, kind of, sort of, the prediction is, done with and killed. But at least, eventually I went with the Bucks. So I'm 50-50, if you want to say, if you want to be technical. It didn't happen in game 7. It happened in game 6. But I guess that's the 50 chance right there. That's like the 50. That's what divides it in half, where like the team that I went for won, but it didn't happen in game 7. It happened in game 6. And yeah. But I'm so happy for Giannis, bro. Now, he tried to like really minimize his team and like was trying to like, I didn't have to build a super team. But bro, first of all, you wouldn't have been in this position if it wasn't for Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday. So you're great, an amazing talent, a freak of nature, but you need to, give credit where credit is due, and he does. But tone it down a little bit, kid. Like, tone it down a little bit, because Chris Middleton, before game 6, I felt like Chris Middleton, it was very debatable on who was going to get the finals MVP. And some of y'all may call me crazy for that shit, but I'm going to keep it a bug. I don't know, bro. Chris Middleton, he was the closer for the team. And he came up. He just came up in every single moment. Like, there was just a lot of moments that were going on throughout the first 5 games that was just, and throughout the entire series, obviously, that was just like, bro, hold on a second. A lot of people was like, Giannis is, everybody's like on the comments, on their like highlights and shit, on these like social media pages and shit, or sports pages and shit. A lot of people would comment like, people are disrespecting Giannis because he deserves finals MVP at like game 5. And it was just like, all right, that's your opinion, bro. But like me, for example, I'm kind of having a hard time debating on whether it should be Giannis or Chris Middleton. Literally, like, it was just that bad. Like, I felt like up until game 6, Chris Middleton, it was arguably, and I wouldn't feel some type of way if they would have gave the finals MVP to Chris Middleton. And then game 6 rolled around and this motherfucker scores 50 points with like 16 rebounds. I don't remember the rest of the stats, but I remember him scoring 50. And it was just like, all right, you feel me? That's it. You got it. You feel me? Like, all right, you solidified it. You broke off that decision. Or that debate, I mean. But yeah, there's that with Chris Middleton, and then it's just like Drew Holiday, like, bro, he was like fucking defending the shit out of Devin Booker, defending the shit out of Chris Paul. A big reason why Chris Paul did bad in like game 5, I believe, horribly, it was because they was locking his ass up, and he was gassed. You feel me? So there's that with the finals, the champs. You feel me? Like, I'm so happy to see a different team win. It's weird, kind of, but I don't know. Immediately after the finals, though, news broke immediately that the Lakers want Westbrook or Chris Paul. They want a veteran point guard. And my thought is, well, then who are you going to keep? Are you going to keep this guy, Schroeder, or are you going to keep Alex Caruso? Now, I'm honestly thinking they're going to let go of Schroeder just because, and I love Schroeder's game. But it's like Magic Johnson said, he's just not a Laker. He's not like, he just doesn't have that Laker mentality, a championship mentality, because you could tell he, at some points, does not give a fuck about what's going on in the game. And that was one thing I had a problem with throughout him playing, throughout the seasons that he played with the Lakers. And you could see that in some games where, like, in some plays as well, where he was just like, do certain shit that you could tell he really didn't give a fuck. There's certain shit that you do where like, whereas if it's like you turn the ball over and you be like, yo, yeah, damn, my fault. Like, it's just courtesy to just take ownership of your wrongdoing. And it's like, oh shit, you know, of your mistake, and just be like, oh shit, you know, I'm sorry. Like, I apologize, my fault. Oh, I'm gonna be more tentative about that next time. But he would literally just be like, literally his face would just not give a fuck. Like, he would not care. And I would see that throughout the games and during the regular season, and that was one thing I really didn't like. But I love this game. And now with Alex Caruso, I like his game all around because he's really a hard fucking worker. It didn't really show out this off season. I mean this regular season, but that's because he didn't really play as much. The minutes were fucking weird this season. I don't know what the fuck was going on. I didn't really understand what the hell, why they didn't play Montrezl Harrell as much as they should have. I don't know. That's a different story. But I honestly think the Lakers are going to let go of Schroeder and keep Alex Caruso just because they want that grit and grind. And he's that perfect player for it. He reminds me a lot of Matthew Dellavedova back in Cleveland when he how at heart he was with every play. Like, he was just, you could just see his name in every single play, his jersey, him running around everywhere in every single play that he played. So he reminds me a lot of Matthew Dellavedova in the sense that, you know, he is like that with that grit and grind, but just a little tad, well, a lot better in the sense that, you know, he got a better jumper. He got he could obviously fucking jump out of the roof. He's dunked, like he's had putbacks, like center looking putbacks. Like, he has left me in awe before, and Matthew Dellavedova never done that. So, yeah, there's that. And so I feel like, you know, they'll eventually get a trade. I don't know. I feel like it'll be easier for them to get Westbrook more than CP3 just because the circumstance that both players are in. CP3 is in clearly a winning championship team, like a contender. He doesn't need to go anywhere. He has everything that he needs if, you know, the Suns staff and whoever, you know, runs the checkerboard over there does, you know, the right moves this offseason. But as opposed to Westbrook, who's in Detroit, I believe. No, he's in Washington. I'm sorry. Excuse that. Who's in Washington. And there's already a story that this guy wants to trade, Bradley Beal. So Westbrook is now about to sit in Washington by his dolly on his own, doing nothing because they ain't winning. John Wall is no longer there. John Wall, I think, is in Houston still. So it's like, you know, the Dubs are trying to make a trade for a player like Bradley Beal. They say shit like that. They say shit like, oh, a player like Bradley Beal. The Warriors want a player like Bradley Beal. But nigga, you want like Bradley Beal. Don't do that. You're just not trying to get a fine. A player like Bradley Beal. The Warriors are looking for a player like Bradley Beal. Who's a player like Bradley Beal? Bradley Beal. Jesus Christ, man. Come on. Call it out. And then, like, I see immediately after I read that story, a few moments later, I see another post talking about Bradley Beal wants out. The irony. The irony. I mean, we all knew they all want out of Washington. They ain't nothing to look for in Washington. So I feel like it makes more sense for the Lakers to trade for Westbrook, because I feel like Washington would want less than what the Suns would want for CP3. And to be honest, I would prefer CP3 just because I don't know. I don't know. His mid-range is just A1. His mid-range is just different. His mid-range is just like if there's anybody that you can think of mid-range game-wise in this generation, Chris Paul is easily top 3. And that leads us to Mark DeRozan also being in that conversation because he's a great mid-range shooter. And he also, I've heard reports of him also showing interest in joining the Lakers. And I would love that because he's stuck in San Antonio. If he's still in San Antonio, which I believe he is, they're not doing anything. Literally, like, I could literally not remember not one thing about San Antonio ever playing this fucking season. And, you know, obviously he wants out of there. He wants to be in a championship contender. And the Lakers, Los Angeles is his home. So he can either go to the Lakers or to the Clippers. And so is Westbrook. Westbrook is also LA native. And, you know, it would make sense for him to want to join either the Lakers or the Clippers to be home. But who knows, man? You know, they've also always shown interest in Kyle Lowry. I just don't think that the Raptors would let go of him just yet. I feel like they're just asphyxiated with Kyle Lowry. You know, they already made a tough decision to let go between Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan, but they clearly went with DeRozan, and they did good after that because they won a championship after they let go of DeRozan, and they acquired, obviously because of Kawhi Leonard, but it's like Kyle Lowry, I don't know. It's just they kind of like, he is a really great fucking player. Like, he's a really good point guard, which is, and I've also heard this when LeBron was in Cleveland. So I just feel like, you know, it's LeBron's calling that he just wants to play with niggas like Kyle Lowry and CP3 and Westbrook. You know, you've seen Westbrook and LeBron share time off the court. And like off seasons, they'll spend some summers together and sometime in the summer, during the summer together. Obviously, his relationship with CP3 is second to none. Where, you know, CP3 was there during 2007, LeBron's first finals game, and he went to go visit and see him and watch him play. Clearly getting swept, but still, it just shows to you how close those two are, and that's why you saw LeBron in Game 5, and he went to go see CP3 because CP3 was there for him in 2007 during his first championship run, and this is CP3's first, so, you know, yeah. And then Kyle Lowry, I've always seen stories, even when LeBron was in Cleveland, or like that team that LeBron is in, is showing interest in acquiring Kyle Lowry. And hey, bro, go for it, because he may not be the best fit looking NBA player in the league, but he give you some fucking buckets. He don't give a shit. Like, he's a bulldog, and I feel like those are the players that LeBron like to play with, because CP3 is a little bulldog too, and Westbrook is a fucking Westbrook is just an animal of his own. But essentially, he's around the bulldog breed. It's just a different breed. But yeah, that's just some NBA talk. That's in terms of that. That's all I have. Yeah, these are the news that I've seen throughout this week so far. And I don't know. I mean, I hope it happens. You know, I do want to see a really good point guard play with LeBron. Not that there haven't been. Obviously, you have Kyrie. Schroeder's not a bad fucking point guard either. You know, Alex Caruso's not a bad point guard. Mario Chalmers is not a bad point guard either. Those are great point guards. It's just, it takes a different level, a different type of person to play with. Such a GOAT. Such a fucking GOAT. But yeah, moving on from that, the foolery that white people show again and again, week by week, is ridiculous. I'm going to play you guys a clip that has been, you know, ravaging the internet throughout this week. And when I seen it, it just, we're going to watch the clip and then I'm going to just talk to you about it afterwards. I like how they add the wood like 4 times. This particular clip, they add like the wood like 3 times, bro. That's funny as hell. It's shit like this, bro. It's shit like this that just keeps a reminder in my head of that the slave times wasn't that far ago, that long. Like it wasn't that long ago. Like it may seem like it was a long time ago, but literally a little over 100 years ago, motherfuckers was free. Like literally a little over 100 years ago, slavery was abolished. It's just a reminder. Folks like this just keeps a reminder in my head that it's just like, they be some racist motherfuckers out here. You better watch where you move. You better watch what house you buy. You better watch what land you stay on. You better watch who your neighbors are. Because this is a city councilman talking like this. He could easily lose his job. Imagine what a regular white worker would do. Now, obviously, his name, by the way, is I think it's like John Tommy Bryant or Tommy John Bryant. I don't know. I got no respect for that bitch ass nigga, so I don't give a fuck how I say his name. And Bryant, I'm not gonna call him Bryant because one of the goats' last name is Bryant, and I'm not doing that. So I'm just call that man Tommy. Tommy. He was obviously, now the context of this entire clip that you just seen is that he was reciting the mayor of Alabama. So, oh yeah, I forgot to mention that this is in Alabama, surprisingly enough. And the mayor of Alabama is a black man. So, he was reciting the mayor because the mayor had called a woman this. She called him a house nigger. And it just leads me like to it's like the comfortness that he had within him to just get up and say it. Me just saying that, me saying it, as you heard a couple moments ago, me saying it, I felt a little bit, it just came out. But him, in the way he said it, it was just like, you could tell he says it at home with his wife. You could tell he be, cruising in the whip, see 2 young black men, straight to the N-word. Like, this shit is just sad to me, bro. And it's shit like this that reminds me, yet again, the times, the 50s weren't even 100 years ago. The 50s, you get lynched in the 50s. I would go back if I was me 70 years ago. I would have to tread very lightly throughout wherever the fuck I walk. If I don't see people of my skin complexion or darker or slightly a little lighter, I'm not comfortable. I already don't feel comfortable. And we in the new times. But I best believe if I ever go see a friend or visit a friend at a college, a predominantly white college, and we decide to go out that night, which has happened, I can assure you, if we walk into a spot where majority are white, I will be on high alert. I will tread lightly. Because don't get me wrong, I don't mind whooping a white boy's ass If he gets small with me, same way as I don't mind just sharing the same space with another white man. I don't care. I'm not a racist. I don't give a fuck about that shit. I don't care. I am a person that if you respect me, I respect you. And I don't even look at it as race, you know, but them white boys do. When you go to them fraternities and shit like that and sororities, them white people be different, bruh. Them white people look at you like you different. I've seen that. I've experienced that myself. And it sucks. And you know, yeah, obviously, you know, you get the people that be like, oh, you know, but then, you know, if you say you can't, you gotta stop saying it. So, you know, and yes, I try my best not to say the N-word. I try my best to not speak it that way. I try my best to control that in me. It's just sometimes comes out. I grew up like this. I grew up here in the Bronx. This is just what, unfortunately, the vocabulary consists of. So, yeah, it was just... And then, like, they asked him afterwards, like, if he, like, could take back anything that he said. He was like, no, I'd say it all over again because it needs to be said. I smacked the shit out of you, bro. I hope I can't go to jail for that. I hope I'm not, like, I don't feel like, I hope he don't hear this and then be like, oh, my God, he's threatening me. And then, like, I go to jail or, like, he sues me or some shit. I don't know how that shit works. But, yeah. Nah, man. I don't play that shit. I do not play that shit. And trust me, I don't know how those people in that clip stood as calm as they stood. Because if you gonna call me a house nigga, I don't even care if you reciting just the fact that you said the N-word. I'm a finna act out. I'm a go crazy because you got me tight. Because you felt, not number one, you felt comfortable enough to say it. And number two, you try to get low. Like, they always trying to get low. Like, they always trying to, like, have every moment to, like, opportunity to say it. He probably felt like just because he was reciting the mayor, he wouldn't be able to get in trouble for it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a city councilman of your favorite state in America, Alabama. Oh, man. I don't know, bro. This shit is just fucking sad, bro. It's shit. And then it's like, I heard a story as well that I didn't really even educate myself enough on because I just did not want to overcomplicate my life with just such a, like, just a sick thought of what the fuck is going on. I already have to deal with seeing and listening to that fucking clip that we just listened to. But another thing I saw was that in Texas, they were like advocating for a bill to pass, or they were gonna pass, or they passed a bill that literally like stopped schools in Texas from teaching kids of the bad about the KKK and eliminating like shit that, you know, people like Martin Luther King did. And like Native Americans and how they got slaughtered. And it's like, so then what the fuck are you doing, bruh? You know, it's like, then again, we can't expect any better from people. You know, you can't expect shit from anybody, honestly. But I do believe that this generation will eventually fix shit. Because I could guarantee you, majority of these motherfuckers moving militant like this, same motherfuckers that passed the bill, this bill that we're currently talking about, and then that last motherfucker that was just on that clip saying the N-word like he can. Those were all men over 50 years of age, guys. Well over 50 years of age. These are the dudes that were kids in the 60s, kids in the 50s. So we can't expect shit from them. You feel me? That's why I believe like this generation, like the generation Generation Z and X. I don't know where the fuck this generation letters come from. I don't know, bro. The motherfuckers born in the 70s and on, I feel like those will actually make a change in the right direction of how things should actually be and things that are morally right and for the greater of humanity. I feel like those generations and on will carry on those, thoughts and pass those bills that need to be passed and shit like that. Yeah, it's unfortunate that I even have to talk about this fucking shit. If you want to really learn more about the bozo we just saw on that clip, Charlemagne the God did a donkey of the day on him. I believe it was yesterday or today. So I highly encourage you to go check that out because he gets more even more in depth about it. I just showed you a clip. He shows you like 3. So yeah, and it's shit like this, bruh. It's shit like this that be having a motherfucker think. I don't want to. That's why I don't even bother on traveling across from country to state to state in this country, just because I could care less about what states like Alabama think about me and my race and the way I look. And when I go into a fucking gas station, motherfuckers gonna look at me like I'm gonna steal some shit. Cause I have it worse, bruh. Motherfuckers gonna look at me and be like, oh, he black. Nah, he Indian. Nah, he give me like Moroccan vibes. He Middle Eastern. So you gonna get mad shit. I'm gonna get mad race shit. Like motherfuckers gonna violate me in every fucking chance they got, in every way they can. They have 3 different ways to really flame me. And I could joke all around, but it gets to a certain point where I'll get tight and I'll smack the shit out of one of these little white boys. Word to my mother. Word to everything I love. I'm not afraid of nobody. But yeah, guys, I feel like we covered absolutely everything that there were some things that I didn't even cover on the last episode, like Space Jam 2 and shit like that. I wanted to cover it, but I completely forgot to even mention it because we were so deep into our conversations that, yeah. But yeah, this has been another episode. Scary Hour. I hope you guys enjoyed. Give a like, share, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. This is gonna be a weekly thing, guys. I love this. I love you guys for watching, whoever watches, and yeah, I hope you guys have a great weekend and enjoy.